Welcome back. Welcome to our channel. This is Further Solutions Academy. Further Solutions Academy. Help us to share our video and subscribe to our channel. We have over 121 video on our channel presently. Please, any of them, just share it. It means you can come to this channel and learn and do a lot of things. Okay. In this video, I'll be walking you through equation. I'll be working on equation, which is basically I'll be working on simple equation and linear equation. These are my outline of this video. The first one is definition of what? Equation. The second one is definition of simple equation, and the third one is definition of linear equation, and the last one is simultaneous linear equation. I have a lot of things to cover in this video. Please just follow us up. Okay, it's supposed to be 1 hour or 10 minutes video, but no problem. Let me start from equation. If we are talking about equation, now we should understand what is called expression and equation. They are very, very important things that you need to understand there. Well, if you are talking about equation, there is assignment, which is called, this is the sign, is that there is equality. Now, if this equality satisfies, no problem, that is the equation. But if the equality does not satisfy, we call it inequality. I think that should be our maybe next 2 videos. We are going to work on it. Inequality, which is, we can use, it can be great, it can be less, it can be greater than equals to, it can be less than equals to, anyone that is satisfied the condition. Now, but this time around, we'll be working on equation, which is this sign satisfied. If I have a plus b, at this point we call it expression. We call it expression. Now, which is called expression. Now, if I now change it to a plus b equals to c, now the story have changed at this point, at this moment, which does now become equation. Now, this become equation. Why this one? Because of there's no assignment on it, we call it what? Expression. And let me quickly help for those that writing JAM or WAHEC, any exam. When you are talking about equation, the common words used there to be solved for what is, find the value. Now, these are the common words for what? Equation, when you have equality. But if it is expression, you'll be looking at the word simplify, evaluate, enumerate, and so on and so forth. These are the common word for. It means when you are asked to find us what is, find the value of, solve for, it means you are looking for something. Something is lost, which you are to look for. Don't forget, that is very, very important. I think that's what I can give you on equation. Normally, there are type of equation. Let me quickly explain type of equation. Now, if you are talking about type of equation, some people, many students make mistake of, they will mix up simultaneous equation with the type of equation. No. At all. There are difference between type of equation and forms of equation. Simultaneous equation, we call it the forms of equation. Why type of equation? Let me quickly list out the type of equation. We have simple equation. How do I identify simple equation? It's very common in at basic level. When we have a box plus 3 equals to 7, what is the number in the box? That is our basic level. There's basic 2, basic 3, basic 4, 5. Now, in the bit advanced, which is when you come to basic 7, basic 6, 7, 8, we'll be looking at x plus 3 equals to 7. Now, these are simple equation. And let me quickly give you some tips that you need to understand when we are dealing with simple equation. For instance, if I have it in fraction form, I have 3 all over x plus 1 equals to 3 all over 7. For your information, the upper parts are equal since 3 is equals to 3, then x plus 1 equals to 7. We are good to go. Which my x will be equals to 6. Very correct. I don't need to cross multiply or do some things we are doing all these times. You don't need to do that. Because this 3 is equals to 3, then that one will be equal to themselves. There are many of them that you can see in your WAHEC. It can also be, okay, I have it x minus 1 equals to 7 equals to 3 all over 7. Now, if I have this, since 7 is equals to 7, the denominator is equals to the numerator of the two sides. It means x plus x minus 1 equals to 3. My x equals to 4. That is very good. And let me tell you about equation. It must satisfy the condition that side A must be equals to side B. If they are not equal, it means you have not solved any problem. Look at it. If we put 4 here, it means 4 minus 1. It means what? Which is going to be 3 all over 7 and 3 all over 7. Can you see that this are equals to this? That's all about equation. Anytime you solve simultaneous, anytime you solve any given equation, it must obey the condition that side A is equals to side B. I think I've said enough on a simple equation. Now, let me move on to just learn to test for any equation you are given in any given exam, JAM, WAHEC, wherever you solve any simple equation. It can be in fraction form, it can be a normal linear form, normal form, which is direct form. Just make sure you test for side A and side B. Once they satisfy the condition, you are good to go. Then the next one, which is type 2. Type 2, we'll be talking about linear equation. Linear equation. Now, when we talk about linear equation, at this point, we are talking about two things, which is it always involves x and y. In mathematics, we normally use this, and this is very common to us. This is call it x-axis, and we call this one y-axis. Now, we call this real axis. Now, why this is called imaginary axis? Please take note of that. It's very important. This is real axis, this is imaginary axis. Now, our linear equation always involve two variables, which is x and y. That is why whenever they meet, we call it a point. It is formed just a common point, which is what? X, y. It means my x is real, my y is what? Imaginary. That is very common in your simultaneous equation. That's what will lead us to simultaneous equation. In any given simultaneous equation, when we solve any given simultaneous equation, it always gives us what? X and y. It can be, we have forms of it, okay. That is all about linear equation. Linear equation is always like this: x plus y equals to 7. X and y. X is real, y is imaginary. X is real, y is imaginary. Okay. Now, if there are two equations of them, I think you can do it. And when you solve your linear equation like this, it's always straight line. It's always a straight line. Like if I have a problem this way, it's very common in inequality graph. If I have something like this, I want to use a simultaneous equation, a graphical method. I will make one to be 0. I will get my y. I will make another one. When they meet, that is my what? It means I will draw my line down. Okay, not yet. That is simultaneous. Linear equation is always in this form: x and y, which is two variables. Okay. Now we are now on simultaneous equation. Simultaneous equation is not a type of equation. Normally, let me just extract this one. I will come back to it. The third type of equation, we call it quadratic equation. Quadratic equation. Now, when we're talking about quadratic equation, it means quadratic equation involves degree. The degree of the variable is more than 1, is 2. And the more the degree, the more the what? Root, or the more the factors. Please take note of that. Now, when we talk about root It's always in, is in equation. Y factor is in expression. Is expression. Now, when we have a problem on, we are solving towards roots, it means we are to end at what? Equation. And when we are talking about factor, we are to end at expression. This is a very good example of it, because we're talking an example of now x plus square plus b of x plus c. This is an expression. This is a very good expression. Now, but when I have it x squared plus b by x plus c equals to 0, this one becomes equation. This is called equation. I'm just trying to equation. Now, please take note of that. And let me move on to the next one. I can now move on to polynomial of degree 3 above. Degree 3, it means I'm to get, if it is degree 3, I'm to have 3 factor or 3 roots, and so on and so forth. Okay, I think I've defined this. Now, I'm now on simultaneous equation. It means basically I'll be working more on simultaneous equation as far as this video is concerned. Okay, let me just quickly break down 15 minutes simultaneous equation. Now, simultaneous equation, linear equation. Now, I've explained simultaneous linear equation, which is, I've explained the meaning of linear equation. It means it involves two variables. Now, when we use a word simultaneous, this simultaneous as a word, it means we're having two equality sign. Like, it's very common when we talk about equilateral triangle. Look at this equilateral triangle. It's very common. A, B, C. Now, it satisfies condition of equilateral triangle by A equals to B equals to C. Now, can you see my statement is telling us that there are two inequality sign here. Equality sign 1, 2. It means A can be equals to B, equation 1. B can be equals to C, and also A can be equals to C. These are the given equation. At this point, we call it simultaneous equation. Simultaneous equation. Now, please take note of that. When you have two or more statements, equality sign in a particular, become a simultaneous equation. Now, that is why when you have your simultaneous equation, you have very, very good example. Okay, we have it can be in linear and quadratic. It can be in both linear, depending on what you are looking for. Like if I have a squared equals to b equals to c, at this point the story have changed because of what? This particular square have turned things upside down. Do you get it right? They are both variable. I think let me attach s to it. X squared and x and x. Now at this point, turn it to simultaneous equation, which is ax squared equals to bx, and bx equals to cx. Equation 1, equation 2. I can now continue and start solving my simultaneous equation. I'm not in there. I'm just trying to define simultaneous equation. Now, method of solving simultaneous equation. Method of solving simultaneous equation. Now, methods of solving simultaneous equation. Normally, there are 4 methods of solving simultaneous equation. The first method, we call it elimination. We have elimination. How do I spell elimination? Elimination spell. Okay, we have elimination method. Elimination method. And second one, we have substitution. Substitution method. And we have equating method. And the last one, we call it graphical method. Graphical method. Now, these are the method of solving simultaneous equation. Method of solving simultaneous equation. Okay, I will just have this like this. Just have this like this. Have this like this. Let me now give out one or two. Let me give out one equation. I will use the 3 method or 4 method. Okay, I can't use graph here now. I can only explain graph, but if I can get a graph board, I will try to show from one question. Okay, let me give the question. Okay. Given that 3x minus 5y equals to, minus 3 equals to 0, and 2y minus 6x plus 5 equals to 0. Find value of x comma y. Now, look at this x comma y. I've explained when you have it this way, x and y, it means it will form a point. I've explained previous, as in before now. I've explained that. Okay, I want to use, let me start with from elimination method. Now, I'm using elimination method. Now, I want to start from elimination method. Now, if I have my elimination method, x minus 5y minus 3 equals to, I don't have space like that, it will be equals to 3. Why this go to this one? Okay, it will be equation 1. And also 2y. Before I move on, I can turn it to minus 6x. What am I doing? I'm just trying to rearrange it. Plus 2y equals to minus 5. Equation 2. What did I do? I just try to rearrange x and it should be in the other, on their side. Now, I want to use elimination method. I will make sure elimination method means I want to remove 1 for 1 to move. Now, that is eliminate. I want to remove 1 for 1 to move. My marker is going down. Let me try to. Okay. Now, I want to remove 1 for 1 to move. Now, how do I remove that? I will multiply this equation 1 by something, equation 2 by something, so that one of the variable will be perfect. Okay, let me multiply this one by 2, and I multiply this one by 1. Now, once I multiply, it means everything that is in equation 3 must be multiplied by what? By 2. It will now be what? 6x minus 10y equals to 6, equation 3. And also minus 6x plus 2y equals to minus 5, equation 2. Still remain equation 2. Now, at this point, I can minus the 2 equations without no stress. Now, which is, okay, let me add the 2 equations together. Because if I minus, this one will turn to plus, and it will not give me what I want. I want to remove one of the variables. What am I removing now? I am removing x. 6 plus minus 6, it will be 0x, which is that one has gone. 0x, which is 0. Now, this one is minus 10 plus 2. It will be minus 8y equals to minus 6 plus 6 plus minus 5. It will be 1. To be 1. There's no anything. I'm just adding up this and also this and this. Now, at this point, my y will be equals to minus 1 all over 8. That is my y. It means at this point, my y is equals to what? Minus 1 all over 8, remain my hex, comma. Now, my hex now, the same thing, I can do the same thing for my what? For my hex. Okay, let me change the story here. I'm now working on x. There's no space. I will multiply equation 1 by, I want to remove y now. If I multiply this one by 2, I will multiply this one by 5. It means I will have 6x minus 10y equals to 6. And this one also will be, I multiply this one by 2. Sorry, this one will be 5. Sorry for that. 5, which is going to be minus 30x plus, this one will now be 10. 10y equals to minus 25. By so doing that, which is going to be this I'm adding. But if I subtract, the minus will increase, which this one will move out of the story. Now we are having this plus this. It will be minus 24x. Now I will have equals to minus, which is right, which is going to be 19. That will be minus 19. Now my x will be equals to 19 all over 24. Minus and minus have cancelled themselves. It means what is going to be here, it will be what? 19 all over what? 24. That is my x, and this is my x. This is my what? Y. You can test for it. When you test for it, you can check for it. You are free to do that. Check and get back to us to see that the answer will be correct. It means side A equals to side B. If they are not equal, I think you can email us or drop your comments on our channel, on our YouTube channel. Surely be attended to. That is first method. And the second method, we call it elimination method. Substitution method. That is second method. I want to substitute. Now, substitution method means we are representing one, we are replacing. We want to replace substitution method. Substitution method. Now, this substitution method is also very simple. I'm now on this part now. Just to explain with this, I will come back again by having 3x minus 5y equals to 3, and minus 6x plus 2y equals to minus 5. Equation 1, equation 2. Now, if I'm to use substitution method, it's very long. I don't even like using it, but let me quickly use it for you. Now, let's make, which one should I make? Okay, let me make x the subject in equation 1. It means my x will be a subject. X will be equals to 3 plus 5y divided by 3. That is my x. I'll make it a subject. It means I let this one stand on its own, take it over, divided by 3, and I have that. Now, substitute for x in equation 2. Wherever you see x, you represent it, you replace it with what? It means anywhere you see x, it will present by what? Like this, minus 6 and 3 plus 5y divided by 3 plus 2y equals to minus 5. Now, at this point, no more x, no more y, rather, no more x. Here 1, here 2. Now, 2 times 3, I have minus 6. I have minus 10y. I have plus 2y equals to 5, minus 5. Now, this one will go to that part, which is, I'll come to this side now, minus 8y equals to minus 5 plus 6, which is going to be 1. Minus 5 to go to this side. taking it to that side, which is going to be what? Minus, that will be 1. Y will be equals to minus 1 all over 8, which is what we get that part, first part. And substitute or put y into equation, any equation, let me call this one equation 3. New equation, equation 3. It means my x equals to, anywhere you see y to represent by what? That's what is called substitution. 5 bracket of minus 1 all over 8 divided by what? Which will be what? 3 minus 5 all over 8 divided by 3. Now we have 24 minus 5. We have 24, yes. 24 minus 5, which is 8 times 3, 24, which is minus 5, which is going to be 19. We have 19 all over 8 multiplied by 1 all over 3. Is it yes? Yes, that is going to be yes. Okay, now, okay, divided by 3. Okay, wait. Let me go here. Okay, and, oh, sorry. Let me not rush. I have 20, which is implies that 24 minus 5 divided by 8. Divided by 8 divided by 3. Now, this minus this, it will be 19. 19, and when we do that, it will be what? Our answer will be 19 all over 24. That is all about it. When you use up that, that is this method now. It's gone. Now, the next one we are talking about equating method. Now, the last one, equating method. Equating method is very, very simple to use. Equating method is very, very simple. Now, I have 3x minus 5y equals to 5, I mean 3. And I have minus 6 plus 2y equals to minus 5. Equation 1, equation 2. Now, see this from equation 1. S is equals to, from equation 1, x equals to 3 plus 5 all over 3. That is from equation 1. It means I'll make my heads. Now, from equation 2, x can be equals to, s can be equal to minus 5 plus 6 x. I mean, from equation 2, I'm talking about x, yes. Minus 5 plus 2y, yes, divided by minus 6. Now, this is now the equation. Let me just establish it. X, let me call this one 1, 2. x1 equals to x2. By so doing this, I'm using my equating method. And when you do this, you see that this one and equals to this. Just work out for x, for y, you will get your answer. That's all about the method of solving simultaneous equation. Before I stop this video, there is one part of very common when it comes to JAM and WAHEC. We call it inverse part of it. Like I have a question here from 2017. Okay, I have a question here from 2017. Call it inverse part of it, which is find x and y in a given equation equation. What is the equation? 2 all over x minus 3 all over y equals to 4 all over x plus, this is comma, equals to 1. Now, this is a very technical part of simultaneous equation that if you are not very careful, you are to solve this with. Now, how do I solve it? Solution. Let me think plan. I may not finish it. Let 1 all over x equals to m and 1 all over y equals to, let me use n. By so doing this, I've solved my answer. It means 2 multiplied by 1 all over x minus 3 multiplied by 1 all over y equals to 4, and also 4 multiplied by 1 all over x plus 1 all over y equals to 1. I can now move it to normal, which is 2n minus 3n equals to 4, and 4n plus n equals to 1. By so doing this, I think you have no problem. The answer is already given, which is, if I multiply this one by 1, I'm using by 3, I'm using elimination method, which it will give me 2m minus 3n equals to 4. I have 12m minus 3n equals to 3. I can eliminate. If I should eliminate, I will because minus it will increase. When I minus it, it will be what? Now this one will be minus 10m. This one will now be 0. Minus to be 0 equals to 1. Which I have my m. My m to be equals to minus 1 all over 10. And also, I can do the same thing for my, I don't even need to stress myself. I can put my, from equation 2, my n equals to 1 minus 4n. 1 minus 4n. It means my n will be equals to 1 minus 4 bracket of 1 all over 10 minus 2 here is going to be 2. 2 here is going to be 5. Now my n equals to, I have 1 plus 2 all over 5, which is, I have 10, that is 7. N equals to 7 all over 5. Now, hence, my m equals to 1 all over x. It means, when my n, what is my n? My n is already minus, it means minus 1 all over 10 equals to 1 all over x. Now, since 1 is equals to 1, it means my x equals to minus 10. I can do the same thing, and my n is equals to, let me use my n here. My n is equals to, hope I don't make a mistake. Yeah, 2 times 5. I don't have a mistake. No mistake. Now, my n is equals to 7 all over 5. It means I'll be talking about n equals to 1 all over y. Now, it means 7 all over 5 equals to 1 all over. Now, inverse of this thing, it means my y, it will be equals to 5 all over 7. That's inverse of it. Now, you can use that to check for this. You will surely get your answer. Okay, I won't go beyond this video. Okay, that is all about simultaneous equation, but there are more of them. We call it one linear, one quadratic, and graphical method, which is, I will work on graphical method when next we meet. Once again, Further Solutions Academy. Further Solutions Academy. Encourage us more, help us to share and also subscribe to our channel. Thanks for watching.